It was not the first time I was traveling between Belgrade and Budapest. This time though, it was not as easy as before. You used to get on a train in either city, and it would take you to the other in about 9 hours. Now, however, as a part of the Belt and Road Initiative, the rail connection was being renovated, and we had to go by bus the first part, from Belgrade to Subotica. The renovation of the rail line between Belgrade and Budapest was agreed between Serbia, Hungary and China in November 2013, and was later included under the 17+1 format as one of the first high-profile Belt and Road projects in Europe. In a wider context, the project is a part of what in Belt and Road terminology is called the China-Europe Land-Sea Express Route, which aims to shorten and speed up shipping between China and Europe. In the past, most goods from China to Europe traveled through the Suez Canal and the Mediterranean Sea to ports like Antwerp and Rotterdam in Western Europe. With the new express route, goods are instead offloaded in the port of Piraeus in Greece, owned by the Chinese shipping company COSCO, and from there shipped further into Europe by rail. Already at the train station in Subotica, you can see that this is a transport route used by Chinese companies. Many of the containers at the station are labeled with Chinese company names. From Subotica we had to take a small train to the town of Calabria on the border to Hungary. In Calabria we had to change to another train to Budapest. As you can see from the speed we're going at, the land part of the Land-Sea Express route is far from an express route. The average speed for the Hungarian part is 56 km per hour, and for the Serbian section, large parts are limited to 40 km per hour. The renovation of the Budapest Belgrade railway covers about 350 kilometers of the total 1000 kilometers of rail between Athens and Budapest, and it will bring the speed up to around 160 km per hour. Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić has announced further renovations between Belgrade and Niš in southern Serbia, and the EU has announced it will help fund the section between Niš and Skopje in North Macedonia. It's still unclear, however, when the whole line will be up to speed and fully operational. In Serbia the project has progressed relatively hassle-free, and China Communication Construction and China Railway are contracted to renovate the major part of the Serbian section, funded by Chinese Exim Bank loans. For the Hungarian section, on the other hand, the criticism has been louder and the delays longer. In 2015, 2 years after the project had been announced, China Railways published an announcement that they would build the railway. However, as no public procurement had been announced, this raised suspicion that Hungary wanted to bypass EU competition laws, and it was reported that the European Commission started an investigation. A public procurement process was eventually launched in November 2017, which was won by 2 subsidiaries of China Railways and one Hungarian company, RM International, belonging to Viktor Orban's friend and ally, the billionaire Lőrinc Mészáros. The lack of transparency, together with Mészáros' close ties to Orban, has led to continued suspicions about corruption. Another aspect of controversy with the Hungarian part of the railway has been the cost and the economic sustainability of the project. The rail project is the most expensive one in Hungarian history, and critics argue that a high-speed rail link to Belgrade shouldn't be the main priority of the country. In addition, the rail route bypasses all major Hungarian cities on its way to Belgrade, which would otherwise have added extra benefits to the project. In 2017, The report of a feasibility study was classified by the Hungarian government for 10 years. Non-government sources say that it will take between 130 and 2,400 years to get a return on the investments. Despite these criticisms, Hungary signed a loan agreement for 1.65 billion euros with China's Exim Bank in April 2020, and the construction work started in October this year. As the train gets closer to Budapest, you can see container terminals filled with Costco containers. I don't know which route they have taken here, if it's the overland Silk Route, the Land Sea Express through Piraeus, the old way through Rotterdam or some other way. Hungary wants to become a transshipment hub for Chinese goods, but the question is if it will be, and if so, how much money there will be into becoming that. The railway project is the most expensive one in Hungarian history, and shaving off a few hours on the travel time to Belgrade will not justify the price from an economic view. Instead, the success or failure of the project will depend on its potential to fuel further change, to transform shipping routes and value chains more generally. The train is getting closer to Budapest. The Keleti railway station was opened in 1884 during the Austro-Hungarian Empire and has since survived 2 world wars and 40 years of communism. In recent years it has been renovated to its former glory, and it is in my mind one of the most beautiful train stations in Europe. Let's enjoy it on the way out.